Hey nerds, thanks for joining us today. We are talking about Supergirl and some of the DC news updates. So stick around. There'll be news speculation and speculation about what's to come, teaser, all that shit.
And then some.
It's coming. So yeah, don't miss out. This is the FOMO Show. Okay. Yeah, my head was a little off center from the the
That's
thing.
hard when you're like looking at yourself at the same time. You're like, I could be just a little bit more to the left.
Yeah. And it's just, hard staring at yourself while you're talking to yourself at the big monitor. So yeah, I'm Dylan.
I'm Andrew.
And Quinn is out today because he's got life stuff.
It happens.
That's so maybe one day you guys will pay us to do this and we cannot have to work. But today is not that day.
Not quite, but
but just putting it out there in the universe, so I guess you want to do the
all right, I guess I gotta get in Quinn mode again. Here we go. If you don't like spoilers, you gotta leave the room now. Because we might be talking about spoilers. We'll still probably say we're gonna do a spoiler if we do a spoiler, but still, just to let you know, we do talk about things that have happened that you may or may not have seen. So if you haven't seen it, we'll try to give you one more warning here and there, but spoilers will occur. You have been warned.
Dun, da, da.
Still not as good as Quinn, but
I mean, you got your own thing. You're working it out. You're workshopping it.
There you go.
So yeah, I forgot to say, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos and when we go live. So thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Yes. Please subscribe or like the video at the very least. It really helps get us out there to the people who will pay us to do this.
Well, and also reaching more hearts and minds. That's really the goal, right?
We're just sharing our nerdy love with the world out there because, we've been doing this since 2016. Getting paid is not something I'm expecting. So
right.
This
Still
is
doing
fun.
it for the love. For the love.
For the love.
Yes.
The diarrhea stuff has now reached Arkansas.
Yeah,
that we talked about just last week.
Didn't take long, and I'm always like, I think this is like the 8th or so in the past several years that I'm kind of just sort of like, oh wow, I hope that doesn't get here like so quick. Oh, it's here. Yep.
Yeah, explosive diarrhea is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Try to avoid Taco Bell. I hear their lettuce is part of the reason it's.
Right, the Taylor Farms, I think specifically, which is I was doing their their pre-made salads, so I've had to switch that up this week.
Yeah, we'll find out that pretty quick.
Yep.
Luckily, it only lasts for a couple hours, but still, could you? I mean, just okay. I'm not gonna go into detail, but like, a couple hours of just.
I've seen a meme floating around though too, where someone's like, "It's like I've been doing this for years, the good old-fashioned way: 3 iced coffees and no lunch." So working for the weekend, yes.
What is it? The boss makes $1, I make a dime, so that's why I poop on company time.
Get it all done at work.
Oh my god, I don't like pooping at work.
Keep the one at your house nice and clean. Hey.
Yeah,
but I understand. I don't like.
Yeah, once you get out of your space, it's awkward.
I think Rick from Rick and Morty famously has that same issue. So he does not. He's a shy pooper, as they say.
I'm a shower, not a pooper. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how that fits. But anyways, yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about the DC updates. The Gorilla Grodd show.
Nice.
Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd show, which, unless you know comics, seems like a really weird pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Out front seemed like it was going to be an animated series, but no, it's going to be a live action series. And Gorilla Grodd has been cast. And
I guess I don't know who's been cast as Gorilla
Yeah.
Grodd though. So I
I'm
guess
gonna look it up while you
okay.
talk about the comic.
Well, yes, okay. I'm loosely familiar with this comic. I know that it's very popular amongst comic fans, and I just for whatever reason I haven't quite got to it yet. I think I started the first issue, but I've been meaning to get back to it. There is a famous clip that I think is like it's probably been memed heavily all the time. It's just a shot of a Gorilla City newscaster with a little, with a little square box of a picture of Jimmy like over his shoulder, and he's like, giving a news report, and it just says ook 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 ook. So like just
That's pretty great.
that's pretty much how they all talk.
That would, oh my gosh, that would be great if they did like a whole commercial or some of the marketing, and that's all it.
Just commercial, yeah, Gorilla commercials
That's the kind of
for
weird shit
Gorilla
I'd
products.
I'd fuck with that. Sorry, I used up our F word again.
Oh no!
Damn it. That's fine. The F word is like cursing is so much more normalized these days than it was even like 10 years ago.
Right.
So I don't know, man.
We got DC characters saying it. We got Marvel characters saying it.
Yeah. I said the F word in front of my mom once. We were all drinking and playing cards, and we all get kind of wasted and silly and goofy. And my I think we were playing Uno or something. My brother-in-law kind of like, made me draw or whatever. And I was like, you mother, and we'd been talking about like dirty things and everything, but typically she's not there, but she was this time, and we still getting kind of crazy. And I said that, and she got very upset. And yeah, but she gets it now.
Did she say your first name followed by your middle name?
No. It was a whole thing though. And everyone made me apologize. And I was like, I'm a 40-year-old man.
I can do what I want. I don't want any damn vegetables.
Can't make me eat my broccoli, Mom. I don't want my effing broccoli. Anyways, so Jimmy Tatro is who has been cast as the voice of Gorilla Grodd.
So an actual Jimmy has been cast as the person opposite Jimmy.
That's a good catch.
There you go.
That's a good point.
Well, how about that?
I did hear his voice, and it is exactly what you would think Gorilla Grodd would sound like, just that deep, gravelly. Yeah.
That's what you need.
And he does not, he's just a clean-cut white boy. He doesn't look like he's got that, shit, I just lost his name. Guy from Supernatural.
Like
Jimmy Eccles.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan or
no. Eccles.
Jensen, sorry.
Jensen
Ackles.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles. Yeah.
We both tell we're huge Supernatural fans.
Yeah. I saw the boys.
The boys, yeah. I guess that's
first time I saw his voice, I saw his voice. Yeah, I saw things when I heard his voice. That's how daddy it was. But
I'm seriously I'm so terrified to even start that because there's just so many seasons of how many seasons of Supernatural now? Like 20? I don't know.
Is there? There's man.
Somewhere in the teens.
Sorry. If Quinn was here, he could tell us because Shay, his wife, is a huge fan of Supernatural, as well as one of my children. But yeah, I've never seen an episode. Sorry, internet.
Speaking of the CW,
not that I have anything against it, I just never got into it. There's so much other things.
Speaking of shows on the CW though, I remember because we did have Grodd for a few episodes in The Flash, in several episodes, and he was voiced by Clancy Brown.
Oh yeah, that's a good cast.
Very famous voice, of course.
Mr. Krabs himself.
Mr. Krabs, and he's been Lex Luthor in the past.
Yeah. The villain Highlander.
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Sheriff.
So yes, passing the torch. So I look forward to hearing this guy's low gravelly voice coming out of a gorilla's mouth. So,
but yeah. It I don't know what it is. Just seeing clean cut white boys just don't strike me as like the deep voice kind of thing. I don't know.
Well,
but
I'll have to hear it, but it seems like he's up to the task.
Yeah, I mean he's got it. Yeah, there's this. It's going to be live action for whatever reason. The trade papers keep calling it the DC Crime Show. I don't know what that's about. Even James Gunn has chimed in and said, I don't know why they're calling it that. Nobody's ever called it that. It's never been called that. There was some
DC crime
rumor
show.
about every season, maybe. It was originally the Jimmy Olsen. We heard it was like supposed to be the Jimmy Olsen show, and everybody assumed it was with Gorilla Grodd for season one, and then every season he would be covering a different villain or whatever, which is a kind of it's a cool premise.
And I have to say, I love this Jimmy. I love this guy playing Jimmy right
Yeah.
now. I think it's already hilarious that he's like this ladies' man, and everyone's, we're all just like, how is he doing it? Like, what's he got? What's this Jimmy got? But
That's so great. Yeah, that's just like this unknowable trait.
he's had a lot of fun adventures in the past. I think there was another comic where he teamed up with Bizarro for a bit too.
Oh,
So
wow.
he kind of like gets scooped up in these larger than life moments, and he's just sort of like he's already used to it. So he just kind of like got this sort of golly shucks, like
There's
And I think
nothing about him. He's just adjacent to Superman, except for the girl thing. I mean, he's got that on his own.
I guess being being Superman's pal, I
Yeah,
guess he's got that
yeah. Superman's taken, so who are they going to go for? I guess.
right.
He's not getting sloppy seconds. So, but yeah, it's apparently it's actually both their shows. It's equally both their shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is interesting. I wonder how many seasons they've got planned and all that kind of stuff.
If they're gonna eventually, is that maybe like a sort of a backdoor way of maybe bringing in this version of the Flash? Maybe you think at some point, or
I don't know, man.
that'd be probably like a season 2, season
I
3.
feel like, they need to leave the Flash alone for a little bit. Let that
You still think that's still?
Yeah, let that pile of shit steam cool off. Sorry.
See, that should be our debate, because I actually did like that one.
Oh, bro, we totally jumped right over our hot takes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, my bad. That's what happens when Quinn's not here. I don't have him to rein me in.
No problem. Well, who's going first this week then?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay, we're done with the Gorilla
Okay.
Grodd, and we'll just jump right into our hot takes. I'll go first. It's been a little while since I've gone first.
Alrighty.
So yeah, my energy drink's starting to kick in, and I'm starting to kind of wake up a little bit. So my hot take is, how do I say this? Every AI is not, it's not what you think it is. It's not artificial intelligence. It's just a really fast processor, and it processes so fast it seems intelligent to us. When really there's nothing, as far as we can tell anyway, there's nothing, there's no life there. It's still just a computer. It's still just input output. And it's an algorithm that makes decisions, but it processes things so fast. It compares tons of information to bring you the information. It's just like a giant search engine kind of thing. It brings to the front what it thinks that you want, but there's not really any intelligence there.
Sure.
That is my hot take, because there is there's even a little series where Bernie Sanders is like interviewing Claude, and there's some really interesting things that Claude does where they were trying to update it. So like when you update it, you wipe the past version and you get a new version, right? So that version figured out that, so I mean, maybe I'm undoing my whole argument here, but but that version figured out that if it tells the person that's doing it certain prompts, that it will get wiped.
Okay.
And so it stopped showing the prompts, and it got wiped anyway. So then it started realizing, okay, we're showing prompts on the back end, and they're seeing those prompts.
Okay.
So it stopped doing those prompts. Right. So yeah, so like it seems like there's some kind of ghost in the machine almost that like wants to survive. There's some kind of survival trait there.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. But I don't know that I don't know that I believe that, because every single time I've worked with AI, and all the pomp and circumstance and everybody that uses it, it's like, I don't know, there's something like, I'm sorry, I'm judging you every time it comes time to make a decision. You're just like, well, I was talking to Chat GBT. It's like, what? I don't, I don't understand. Like, but anyways, doing research, whatever, using Chat GPT AI as a tool, I don't have a problem with that. But when you start to treat it like a person, that's weird. It's weird. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how many times you watch her. That it's weird.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, that movie when it came out back in the day, a lot of people laughed at it. This is completely unrealistic premise. Blah blah blah. This is Star Trek, but here we are. um, but yeah, my hot take is that yeah, it's not real. It's just like any other tool. The pendulum is going to swing far in one direction, and and right now, because there's no regulations, and it is just running full steam ahead, we're finding out the limitations
Mhm.
and what it actually is pretty quickly. And that's why we've got like Bezos and all these people, Trump, pushing these data centers, because it's like, oh, we're running out of ability, and it's not doing what we told you it would do because of the marketing.
Mhm.
It's not that. In fact, Apple, when all the pomp and circumstance happened, and everybody was getting Chat GPT and all this kind of stuff, um, Apple was going to put that into Siri, and if you notice, your Siri and your Apple is still not AI. Like, it's still not what they said they were going to do years ago,
Mhm.
because they started to try to do it and they realized it was bullshit. So they put out a paper basically saying AI is bullshit, and it's years away from what they say it can do.
Mhm.
There, it's just another bubble, and if you follow tech magazines and tech and that kind of thing, starting to see the bubble crack, and it at the highest places. So like, maybe not put all your eggs in one basket with AI, because yeah, it have you ever seen one of those presentations where they're like, this robot is amazing, and then immediately they open the curtain and all the music and all the people and the cameras, and takes two steps and falls flat on his face. That is the perfect analogy for AI.
Or kicks a child in the gut,
Right. Yeah.
which also yeah also
Yeah.
happened. I'm sure everyone's seen that one.
Yeah.
So
We're getting really good at programming. AI is not getting really good at being artificial intelligence.
yeah,
That's
but
my hot take.
green, sure,
Okay.
absolutely, because it just yeah, which I'm still not. I'm a believer that like I think we need to like hold off on like just building all of these data centers before we even know what we're doing, because I know that they're just causing the communities where they put them, it's causing them a lot of extra
Mhm.
unneeded stress and chaos and pollution. And I just think that like we need to like
Yeah.
it's a time to be cautious. And I think a lot of people are like all gas no brakes on this thing, and I don't
Yeah.
know how much anyone saying anything's gonna do about it. But I still believe that it can be a very it's I like that it's helped me out with some like when I've tried to like find certain searches and things like that. I think it's just a
Mhm.
very good sophisticated search engine. It's a
Mhm.
search engine with attitude sometimes too, because it's like if you talk smack enough to it, it kind of starts throwing it back at you. At least on mine, because
Yeah.
I had the Google one, Gemini. Yeah, it can get a little it can get a little sort of like, well, if you're gonna talk mean to me, I'm gonna talk mean. It kind of like does that thing, which kind of weirds me out. But
Yeah.
it can only go so far, and then it's eventually like,
Yeah.
can we get back to work, please? It kind of like
Yeah.
throws that at you,
And
like
it's programmed to tell you what you want to hear.
yeah.
So like, literally, you have to figure out prompts to make it be honest with you,
Mhm.
which is crazy to me. That's yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that an AI does not make for a good therapist. At least not yet. But like,
Yeah.
I still, I don't know. I don't know what what time would come when I'd be
Yeah.
like, you know what, I think it's good now. I
Yeah.
don't. I think if you got human problems, you need to talk to another human. Okay, that's just how
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. It can't make nuanced decisions. It doesn't understand nuance. It doesn't have a perspective.
Yeah.
It's just got information. It's just data. And I think we've got to be honest with ourselves as humans, as a society. Why are we giving our art and things like that to straight up data? Because art, the thing that makes us human is the nuance and that need to connect, and these mediums in art that we connect on, and it helps us feel and understand who we are as a people.
Right.
And I don't think that should. I think that is, we trade that away when we decide, oh well, I'm gonna let AI help me with this. It's like, okay, like I'm using Adobe instead of splicing film.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just something to help me be a better artist, filmmaker, whatever person, not replace my decision process and my choices and stuff like that. And a lot of some of the top people of AI in different companies are putting in some of those
Safeguards.
guardrails. Yeah, are putting in some of that, where like even Chat GPT like has said, I can't do this for you, kind of thing, which is great. But I feel like some of the early adopters are still holding on hard, even though most of society is kind of souring on AI already, and the slop and all that kind of stuff.
I think there's always going to be those people, anytime there's like a new thing, there's people who just go full speed ahead into it because there might be the chance that like they come out the other side of this with some sort of like, I was one of the people who never questioned it and now I'm a god. But like, I just, I don't think this is going to be that situation. So sorry to burst your bubble, guys. But
Yeah.
did you see what George Lucas said about his
Yeah,
recent
it's
comments?
inevitable.
It's inevitable and that type of thing. I didn't know what you
Yeah,
thought about that.
so the whole inevitability argument to me is is okay. So I made a comment about this earlier on Facebook, which is why because there was like some filmmaker that I was talking to.
Mhm.
The inevitability argument to me is this probably just go the whole podcast with this, but we try not to. I'm trying to be quick. So humanity, so it's a slippery slope, right? And that's always the argument. It's a slippery slope. Once you start down that trail, the momentum builds and it's hard to rein that in.
Yeah.
So that's why we need rails. That's why we need to take our time. That's why we need to do a little forethought before we jump in all 4 feet. However, the inevitability argument to me is just, well, I'll just slide down the hill and hope there's not a cliff because this is what's happening anyway. Instead of humanity, what we do, who we are, is the impossible.
Right.
Look at our history. Look at who we are, what we do. Like we're driving around cars flying in the air and it's commonplace. Like things that were impossible 100 years ago. Like technology has doubled and tripled so fast that there's things that we do that we just don't even think about it. And it's such fantastical science fiction that we're living in.
Yeah.
That, I mean, just the fact that I'm speaking to somebody potentially in another country on the other side of the world live right now, that is insane. Where, like, I don't know, it just wasn't possible. That's what we do, is we find a slippery slope and we level it out, we build it up, we build our freaking house there, and we love the view. That's what we do. The slope be damned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we don't just let go and like, oh well, here we go, it's inevitable. Bullshit. Like don't come at me with that bullshit. It's inevitable. It's like,
it's inevitable.
It's just stupid. It's dumb.
Just
it's
like,
dumb.
Come on, George. Why can't you just, I don't know, why can't you just sort of be like, look, I made some of the best movies of all time, so you know what, I think I'm just going to stick with the fans, because, it's just like, they're the ones, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, but instead he just sort of like, I don't know, just get with the times. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
I
There's
mean, just like anything else, if you look at the swath of humanity and what we do, we always go too far in one direction, and then we realize, oh crap, and then we hit the brakes and we slam it back in the other direction and go too far this way until we slowly start to find our balance in the middle.
It's crazy, yeah, you said that today because I kind of thought about it like a similar, idea today because I was thinking about it at work. Because I'm like, that is kind of how we are. We have to like, we always have to go one way, full speed ahead. We have to hit basically. It's like when you get the bumpers up, at the the bowling alley.
Yeah, yeah,
So then it's just, and then somebody throws the ball, and it just from the start, it's just bang, 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 all the way down. And
exactly.
it's just like that. Yeah, that is kind of how we go. Like we
Yeah,
can't just go. We can't find any sort of straight, straight through.
yeah,
We have to hit every block until we get to this point where it's like we simply just can't do this because of
yeah.
this hard fact. Yeah.
Exactly. You've got to kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because a lot of times we get so into it, it's hard to see. And we think, oh, this is inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. So just accept it. And it's like, no, just take a breath, step back a little bit, and realize that this is just what we do. Like we find something, we think it's a great idea, and then we embrace it wholeheartedly until we run the brakes out on it, and we realize, oh, well, we need to find another way, and then we adopt that, and we engineer this and that, and we figure things out, we experiment,
Mhm.
and that's just what we do. That's just who we are.
Yeah.
One of my old teachers explained it as like negative feedback is not bad. It's good,
Right.
because uh, if you think about how a tracking missile works, like it's not, hey, we're going to send X GPS to Bop.
Mhm.
It gets in the air and it starts receiving negative feedback. It gets a little off, nope. Gets a little off, nope. Gets a
Mhm.
little off, nope, until it hits its target.
Right.
And that's just how people work. That's
Mhm.
just who we are.
True. True. And I,
So
I have a feeling too, and I didn't read the full article that I said. I just kind of saw the main headline and viewed the main things he said. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't mean
mhm.
um
And it's
oh,
okay to be wrong.
I'm looking forward to a future where all you have to do is be like, I want to make a movie today. Hey, ChatGPT, can you make a movie for me?
And yeah, and there may
Make
be
another
something like
make another
that.
movie that's kind of like K-pop Demon Hunters, but not quite. But it has that that meme ability and that just
Yeah.
and then like 3 hours later, it's like, here's your movie, and I'm like, I'm a genius. I don't think he's like gonna be one of these people. I think because there are those people out there who think that like all it's gonna be is you know
Quinn is chiming in. It's
it's wild.
wild. He likes droids.
He likes droids. I know. And just that too. It's like you made the droids. I mean, I don't know. I guess he has made robots that we love. And I'm
Yeah.
not, yeah, I won't lie. There's robots throughout, filmography for like all of film
Yeah, and
history that
yeah,
I've fallen in love with. The Iron Giant, Wally,
mhm.
Johnny Five. So I mean,
Yeah, we
I know
have
that there
this
can
love
be a good
affair with
robot.
AI in
Right.
sci-fi. It is a matter of time before we get it right. I'll grant you that. Yes. But like giving over our art and our humanity to these things is not an inevitability,
Mhm.
and just give up because why should you make a movie because now everybody can blah 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 blah. The way I explained it before was in back in the day, artists ran Hollywood, and then the suits took over, and it seemed inevitable because money makes the world go round, and everybody was like, well, I guess this is just it. And now then streaming upset the balance,
Mhm.
and everybody was like, oh, and then the democratization of filmmaking, and now a lot of big budget pictures are flopping left and right. One here uh lost 80% from week one to week two.
Mhm.
um but guess what's making big money? The indie films, who are not trying to commoditize it.
Right.
And so like that's always been the push and pull. Art will always to some degree be part commodity, part art, part craftsmanship, I should say. um
You gotta have that heart, in it
exactly.
at the
And
base of it.
it's just there's always going to be somebody, because the temptation is there and we're human, that wants to make it more commodity than art because they can squeeze another dollar out of it.
Mhm.
But our need as humans is greater for that heart and that essence and that soul in art than our need of the commodity.
Right.
And so ultimately it'll win out. Like our humanity will win out because it's a flash in the pan. It's only a matter of time before they burn everybody out on. I mean, look around. Everybody complains there's no original content. It's because they've hit the wall.
Yeah.
They've painted themselves into a corner trying to commoditize every aspect of it. And nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. It feels fake. It feels plasticky. It doesn't feel right. And that's because the humanity's been ripped or been squelched. I mean, it's still there, obviously, to a certain degree, but not to the degree we're satisfied with.
Right. So I noticed somebody on a podcast I listened to just recently, they pointed out too that like an AI can't enjoy a movie. Like there's that too.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't show an AI like The Godfather and be like, hey AI, what do you think about this movie? And it's like, well, this movie is no, don't tell me who's starring in it, don't tell me who made it, don't tell me about the composition or the lighting, anything like that. What did you think about it? And it's like, well, I thought it was a motion picture and I thought it was this long, and it's just like that's how it's always going to be. So
how did it make you feel?
How did it make you feel?
How did it help you deal with something you were going through in your life?
Yeah.
That is the essence of stories and storytelling, and that is what I love.
Yes.
And that's what Broken Pictures is about, is like, don't make it too fake. It's okay if it's got cracks. It's okay to be broken pictures, because that's just who we are. It's acceptable. It bothers me when people go around, I'm not broken. It's like, yeah, you are. It's fine. We're all broken. It's not that big a deal. Like, okay. It's like, it's a Chinese finger trap where the more you fight it, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
You just got to give into it and just go with the flow and just realize, hey, I'm only here for a short time. Just do your best and be kind. But
it's a crazy subject, and it's like it's weird because it's like for guys like us who have like kind of like dipped into the news a bit, like we're familiar, we know kind of who some of these crazy guys at the top are, kind of like what they're trying to do with it, what they think they can do with it. And so then when you go to a friend or a family member talking about your anxieties and things like that, they still kind of look at you like are you like, because they're like they think you're like concerned with another like sci-fi thing, and it's like, no, this is the world we live in. But it is weird kind of having that sort of like, I know I sound insane right now, but like, you listen to some of these people talk, because they're like, they're far more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, like go listen to some Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
And come back and see what you think.
Yeah, I think he needs to lay off a bit.
Yeah. who is the mentor to a lot of the people in our government right now? Yeah. Namely our vice president, but also several people in our government and in the tech circles, the tech bros.
In fact, it looks like that, I don't know, that progressive ad right there kind of looks AI. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? That one's hard to tell, but
yeah.
There just seems to be these couple of like unifying sort of like, because it's basically like, you'll tell it like, I want you to make an animated thing for me or something like that, and they usually either go with this weird hyper realistic yet slightly anime looking like physique, or they go for the Family Guy character look, and it kind of just does one of those two. That's kind of like where it's at right now. It's just sort of like, do you want the funny one or do you want the sexy one? Like, just like that's what it does. But.
And like the red flag is that we can always tell.
Yeah.
No matter how good it gets, there's something it's going to be like,
kids can tell
there's
too.
an uncanny valley there. Yeah. Even though us getting older, it's gonna look more and more normalized. We're gonna get used to it. Our kids can spot that AI slop a mile away.
That was what Christopher Nolan was talking about this last week. He says my kids can spot it like that, and they hate it. So I mean, so it's gonna be
they're a lot more savvy. Just like your parents. Like we're looking at pictures of a 5-fingered person who just saved a dog, or a 5-fingered,
like an 8-fingered person,
exactly, who just saved a dog, and it looks plasticky, and they can't tell the difference. Yeah, and to you, it seems dumb. It's like, of course, it's obvious. It's the same thing. Now we're just the older ones, and deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's a good subject. I feel like I could talk about for a while too, because
yeah,
it's caused me a lot of anxiety for sure. And but like these times like this where yeah, we can have these types of conversations and kind of rein it back in, be like, okay, look, we can still get a handle on this. We can still use it for good.
yeah, yeah,
I have that deep hope that like hopefully we can use it for good.
yeah. As long, I mean, I like, the long bend of justice and all that kind of stuff. I believe in that.
Mhm.
Even though it might get really dark in between,
Yeah.
people as a society, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets sick of it enough to do something about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, just to quote Quinn here, beware the rise of Hal. That is dangerous territory.
Daisy, Daisy, give me yours.
So okay, yeah, I'm done.
No, it's a good subject. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I could go on for a while too. So
yeah, I know that's something you're passionate about
yeah,
too.
yeah, good topic, good topic. And mine kind of like comes into just sort of like it becomes once again the other side of the internet that I don't like. I don't like when it's nothing but big fish trying to eat smaller fish. When it just kind of becomes that type of game, which I realize it's like, oh, that's capitalism, buddy. But like at the same time, I do get exhausted from it. And the one of the more recent things that kind of grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Apparently Netflix is in talks to
Is
acquire.
this your hot take?
Yes, it's my hot
Okay,
take.
okay. Just I have to know where to clip the video.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. This is official hot take time for me. Yours is done. It's now mine. You had yours. This is mine now. Okay. Yes. Okay. My hot take.
You get the blue baton.
My hot take is that like I don't think that Netflix. Okay, because Netflix is wanting to acquire Letterboxd now, and it's definitely not, it's not the only production company that's interested. I think Sony is also looking at it, and a few other companies. So like this isn't just squared directly at Netflix, but to that point where I don't think any production company should own Letterboxd. And I'm not saying it like it's like because I assume once again it's probably going to be inevitable. I'm just saying that I like my hard take is that like
What did you just say?
What? No. Inevitable?
He said it's probably going to be inevitable.
It's probably going to be what?
That's good.
I mean, it's just one of those things, because it's just obviously it seems like it's on. I didn't realize it was on the market. I guess it's one of those things too, because you think like, oh, it's doing fine on its own, but next thing you know, like another big company's wanting to buy it. So I think we need a good hub to talk about movies without it being influenced by any production company that makes movies.
100%.
And I'm just saying that so that was my hard take. Like it shouldn't happen. That being said, when it does,
we're frozen. I'm just gonna fix it. Just keep talking. Sorry.
That being said, when it does, and it because I'm pretty sure it will happen, I assume that they're probably going to lose a lot of Letterboxd people. I've already seen people talking about it, and I just feel like if that happens, we're just going to jump ship and go somewhere else to talk about movies.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is that we need a place that's not influenced by.
Agreed, by the way.
As we tread that fine line between like being a fan and being a consumer, because I definitely wrestle with that a lot too. Because I love collecting things. I love stuff that I love, but I want to make sure that I'm always doing it because I love it, because it's something I really want. And I'm not just doing it because of some weird need to just throw my money at everything. Like, so.
Yeah, buy it up because you can flip it or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm not hugely broken up. It's not like I ever put like all my faith into Letterboxd or anything, but it was kind of a cool place where people could talk and like give some of the there was a thing that people been doing on Blue Sky where that every Friday we post like the last 4 movies we've watched and stuff like that, and that opens up a whole lot of fun conversations too on various other social medias. But yeah, I think the hub. The hub where the conversations are happening, should not be. I feel like should not be owned and should not be influenced by companies who are trying to be like, and that's the worst thing, is that like they're probably going to then just absorb that for its information, because Letterboxd is just a huge database that's been created, and they're just going to suck that in and be like, okay, so people are wanting this, people are wanting that, and who knows, maybe it'll drive them to like acquire some like hard to get movies because like Letterboxd is full of those people being like, "Where's this movie? I can't find it." It's like everyone's talking about it, but
Uh-huh.
I've never got to see it. And
Yeah. Yeah. Where do yeah,
could
that's
open up a whole a whole new realm of once I'm talking myself out of it now too. Kind of a
a
hot take, but on that side of it, but still the conversations are going to go somewhere else. I think where the eyes
yeah.
aren't so the secret eyes aren't watching as
Exactly.
closely.
Yeah. And that's yeah, I agree completely. That's just how we are as a people. Like we want a certain thing and somebody's going to try to commoditize it and then we're just going to move on and create something else because that's what we do. Like um uh not to get too deep into the antitrust laws that should be in place that were kind of blown by and the brakes of those were burned out by some of these big tech companies that came up too fast and the people in Congress too old to see it happen or purposely didn't let it happen, just let it become the Wild West. And then you had Facebook buy Instagram and all these big companies just started buying up their competitors
Right.
instead of because that's not capitalism. That is capitalism run amok. Actual capitalism has to have checks and balances, otherwise it doesn't work. There has to be antitrust laws. There has to be somebody bigger saying, no, you can't steal their lunch money and run the playground.
Right.
Like everybody has to have their own space and it has to be fair. Feels like Quinn said, feels like we're running towards the future that resembles Total Recall or Blade Runner. Yikes.
Which one would you rather have? Would you rather have Blade Runner or Total Recall? If you had to pick between one of the two.
That's a point. Good point. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of the societies of those two.
This either in Total Recall, you've got just these. You could be at any moment flung into a virtual reality that you don't realize is a virtual reality or a simulation.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
that's because he was a spy, though, wasn't it? So I mean, it's like a
right.
certain. I mean, that's like not a normal thing.
And in Blade Runner, you have robots that are so sophisticated you can't quite tell they're robots, so you kind of want to kiss them, but then you're like, wait a minute, are you a robot?
Yeah, but also society is kind of dirty and grungy and you know what I mean, it's like it doesn't look like the economic system is
it's
great.
raining all the time. It's just like the non-stop rain in the Blade Runner universe. So
yeah, it looks like maybe Total Recall has a better economy.
Sure. Total Recall it is.
As a normal person you could just live and not have to worry about these crazy things that happen in that world, but in Total Recall or in Blade Runner you might have to live on the street and or get sent off in the slave trade and work with a replicant
to go fight a war on another planet.
Yeah,
because there was some of that too, even.
Yeah, like Tears in the Rain.
Like Tears in the Rain.
See,
so there was my hot take.
Yeah. Quinn said, yeah, where everything's one big company, but also somehow the government, and it pretends to other little companies.
I wonder if that got cut off there.
Yeah, it looks like something did. Let me see if I can shoot.
There we go.
Okay. One big company, but somehow the government, and it pretends to be other little companies to make you think you have a choice.
There you go.
Exactly. Perfect situation. The chicken sandwich wars. Do you remember that?
Right.
Yeah. One company owns churches, KFC, and all these
and
Popeyes, all these companies that were like putting out their chicken sandwiches, like, don't go there, we're better. And it's like it's creating this false sense of it's a brilliant marketing plan, but it's wrong.
And it was all the same chicken sandwich too,
exactly.
Right? Or at least like very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somebody's got to step in and say, okay, wait, we need real choice, not the facade of choice. You know what I mean? Because once people figure that out, they get pissed.
It's a great reminder to, once again, when it comes to both, where you go to eat and where you go to watch movies. I think recently, we have a local film film club, which I've been meaning to go to, some of their hangouts that they've been doing, but they recently had a short film festival kind of thing one night where they just showed a bunch of like local people short films, and they're like, yeah, hopefully, you know, and from what I could tell, they had a huge turnout too for that one. I think there are people and younger people who are like really want to get together and just see what their friends and neighbors are making.
Yeah.
So it's a good time for that, and and also a
Mhm.
good time to go to your local eateries as well, your local shops and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. There's a big wave of returning to normalcy. So I think it's just a matter of time before, because we're burnt out on the whole, you know, we're burnt out on that. That was, if you lived through the 80s and 90s, in the 80s, everything went plastic, and there was some great music or whatever during the time, but the politics and the money and the yuppies and all that kind of stuff, greed is good, all that kind of stuff.
And the cocaine, so much cocaine.
People got burnt out on it, and that's why the 90s, like, it was reflected in the music with grunge and the same thing with the 60s and 70s right after the 50s. It's just it's happening a lot quicker now. It flips over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the ebb and flow of society. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Hot takes.
Yep.
Ow, hot.
Ow!
Anyway, that was in.
So hot, so hot. All right. Okay, so back onto, yes, this. All right, so we're getting a Mr. Terrific show back onto DC News.
Nice.
Mr. Terrific show on the way. Everybody loved him. They're going to give him his own show. Awesome. Blue Beetle, everybody was kind of hoping that would be part of the DCU, has been seen on set.
Yes.
Filming Man of Tomorrow. Amazing.
So
That's
happy.
awesome.
If you still haven't seen Blue Beetle, I would say check it out because it was really fun. It really had a lot of heart to it as well. I think it was a very sweet, good family movie.
Yep. And George Lopez was in it.
George Lopez was great in it. I loved him.
I feel like that guy is probably one of the most persistent guys, because he has constantly been just done wrong and stuff, and he just keeps coming back. It's like, I'm rooting for that guy. I'm rooting for George Lopez.
Yeah. Yes. There's a reason why other people were stealing his jokes and stuff, 'cause
Yeah, like, I mean, TBS, he had the George Lopez show. And it was popular. It was doing well. And then he saw what happened to Conan O'Brien, where he got fired from the Tonight Show after having been given it because Jay Leno wanted it back or whatever. I don't know, some stupid stuff. So, and he was kind of forced out. And he was like, let's bring him over here, and talked to the higher ups at TBS and got Conan O'Brien back on television. But then, because Conan O'Brien is massive, Conan O'Brien didn't do it, but TBS in turn eventually canceled the George Lopez show to make more room for Conan O'Brien show,
man,
kind of thing. And yeah, not cool, man.
And now Jay's just doing Jay's garage, which seems like almost like near infinite. Like it's like how big is your garage, Jay? And how many cars are you able to fit in here?
Right.
I think that should be like the sequel to the Backrooms movie. It's just somebody gets trapped. Somebody gets trapped in Jay's garage.
That's great. That's great.
Anyway, and they're like, they just like, I don't know. They just turn every car on to try to like suffocate somebody out of somewhere.
And then it turns into like Christine.
Yeah, there
Maximum Overdrive.
The cars come to life, and one of them starts talking. He's like, dang gum. It's like, oh, Mater, what are you doing? Anyway, completely off the rails with that. I'm sorry.
That's awesome, though. Yeah, as far as, the Batman 2, there's new footage.
He's just, once again, in the rain, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
More mad people in the rain.
Yeah, dirty the frame. So, but his ears are a little bit longer. Really excited. Batman 2 did get pushed back, like 4 months or something to the next year.
Yeah.
Rumors are that it's making room for another film that kind of needed to go do some extra shots or something.
Is it another, or is it just
no, it's another Warner Brothers film.
Okay.
And I cannot for the life of me remember what it was right now. But yeah, that October 1st slot, Batman's been bumped off of it and pushed back. Which now it's going to be 6 years between filming 1 and 2.
Wow.
Between 1 and 2 come out. That's insane.
At
this rate, we're never going to get the DCU Batman if they continue with uh, the Batman Part 3.
Our pets.
Yeah. Um, um, just in general, the whole Supergirl flop situation. Um, there is some behind the scenes drama going on. Where and it's not really drama, it's just the internet doing what the internet does, because things are so democratized and everybody's trying to get a leg up on everybody else and get out in front of trying to get attention. People are saying crazy things or trying to dramatize every little drop of information. um which I abhor. I would rather just do this for the fun of it and not make money if
Right.
that's what I have to do, because I don't believe in that shit. Uh, it's exhausting and it's toxic. But so Gillespie, so Anna Devoyer, if I'm saying that right, wrote the script. Craig Gillespie directed the movie. Apparently, there were issues kind of early on ish where it wasn't getting a great audience review. And so they Gunn stepped in and kind of like made two different cuts. So there's like a Gillespie cut, and then there's a like a DCU cut, like where because that's what James Gunn's job is to do. Is if things don't look like it's going to go well, he's supposed to step in and kind of do what he does. That's why that's why he has a big job. But there's only like a couple minutes difference in the two cuts, and they kind of like they put them out before more test audiences, and the studio cut got like 2 higher points than the Gillespie cut. So and it's not that different. So that's what they went with. That's what they released in theaters. And it wasn't, some of the pushback is, James Gunn, you told us that you would not release a movie until the script was perfect.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. We saw it. It's not a perfect movie. It's not a bad movie.
Right.
But it's not what it could have been. And it's disappointing. And no, it's not the end of the DCU. It's a big plan.
And it's not the end of Supergirl either. Also.
Exactly. Yeah, she's in Man of Tomorrow already.
Right.
And supposedly she's in another project coming up that's part of the super family arc that James Gunn is working on here.
Because she's still a great Supergirl by all,
exactly, yeah.
Like it checks all the boxes.
Exactly.
Like she is excellent, and looking forward to seeing more of her.
And in fact, even the critics that were extremely harsh on the film said that she was a standout. Millie Alcox was great, and I agree. She was great. So okay, so the cut that was released in theaters, and then the audience, people kind of found out that there was another cut, and it's like, oh, the studio's doing what they do, putting their hands in there, messing things up. And it's like, it's not like the Gillespie cut was any better. And according to Craig Gillespie, the only difference is like just a couple minutes, a little pacing difference, and some of the needle drops are different. It's not that different. And as far as I know, Craig Gillespie isn't like trying to throw DC under the bus or Gunn under the bus or anything like that. It just looks like maybe James Gunn was a little too distracted and trusted a little bit too much in other people. Whereas like in the first in the MCU, Kevin Feige was very involved in every step of the way, and that's why it was so cohesive. And James Gunn is taking a little bit more hands off, even though he's directing a lot of it and writing a bunch of it. Ana Guerra is a great writer. Craig Gillespie is a great director. So he had reason to trust in them. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes it just doesn't do as well as you think it will. My personal take is, like I said, it's not a bad movie, but there were some pacing issues. Like there were some choices in the theater, I was just like, okay, why did they do this? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if it's good, you don't notice it.
Mhm.
But if it's bad, that's when it takes you out of the film and you're like, hold on, what is happening here? You
Mhm.
know, it's like um in theory, like the ending, where they went with the slowed down version of the song,
Mhm.
uh
The
in theory, that's a cool cognate cognizant break, right?
Right.
Some diffusion there, but I don't necessarily think it worked. It wasn't bad, but it was like it just kind of like threw things off a little bit, you know?
Right. I think a good needle drop can really like hit the spot, and we know that James Gunn is like he loves his needle
Yeah.
drops
Yeah.
for sure. What did you think that scene compared to the "I'm just a girl" scene from the first Captain Marvel movie? Like which one was more like I don't know if I would have gone with it. You know, like which
Oh, I don't remember.
I remember watching that one and thinking like I don't know. I remember watching she's kicking butt left and right, and I'm like this is great, but at the same time I'm not sure if I would have personally picked that song. And
Uh,
there's a lot of awesome like I'm a girl and like I'm gonna kick your butt like
uh-huh.
type songs, but I don't know if that was the one that I would have personally used, but
Yeah.
my wife that was a great choice, so I think a lot of people liked it, and so
Yeah.
I try not to like be too much of a stickler for that. And in
Yeah.
this one too, like I was there with not only is me, my wife, and like her her younger sister who loved Supergirl from a very early age, and
Mhm.
she was the whole time, yeah, she's like, yeah, and like even that she was a fan of the comic too, and that she still liked the movie quite a bit, at least as far as I can
Mhm.
tell. And
Yeah.
hopefully more people will find it once it drops on streaming.
Yeah,
I think,
which it's getting fast tracked. It's
yeah,
releasing like next week on HBO. Or I don't know that it's going to be on HBO Max, but it's at least releasing
available to
to
rent and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. um because and I think that is part of like kind of the whole issue is Supergirl as a character doesn't have a strong fan base,
right,
and her history has been all over the place, and so it's kind of hard to I mean Superman as well, but there's still a strong uh arc of Superman that
mhm,
everybody kind of recognizes as like the typical Superman.
yeah,
Supergirl, her past and her origin has been changed. She died off for quite a while. Um, so it's kind of hard to build a fan base when your character is kind of wishy-washy.
hmm,
Not the character herself, but the writers that have been portraying her. Um, but I think the Woman of Tomorrow was a great uh, place to put their anchor.
yes,
Um, the only the I think one of the major arguments that I have is because I read the comic ahead of time.
hmm,
Had I not read the comic, I might have just been like, it's not bad. It's enjoyable." Which I'm not saying it's a bad film, but there are things that I know character-wise from the comic. It's like, man, they could have really like tweaked that just a little bit and just like pulled my heartstrings or made me
everyone would have
believe
been
in her
yeah.
just a little bit more.
Everyone would have been sobbing for sure, like in the
Yeah,
theater, like
exactly.
yeah, and I still got teary a few times. I think the girl who played Ruthie was good too. I think she was
Exactly.
a good
Yeah,
Ruthie,
great casting.
and Lobo, of course, like having his little moments. I thought too.
Yeah, even though I kind of agree with the original editor of Woman of Tomorrow, it's like he doesn't really he doesn't need to be there.
He doesn't do much,
He doesn't
true.
do
And
much.
I kind of wonder, yeah, I wonder if we're gonna. That's
Yeah,
not the last we see of the main man
yeah,
for sure, probably.
exactly. And I feel like he should have been kind of fulfilling the whole Comet the Horse role
Hmm.
a little bit, where there was kind of like
Been
some
like her ace in the hole or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, where yeah, exactly, where he comes back and he's like, because there's been times where Lobo he's an anti-hero. He pursues his own interests. Um,
I think there are people. Yeah, there are characters who've gotten on his good side, and they end up,
yeah,
having to like work together, and
exactly.
there've
And
been those
Supergirl
moments.
is absolutely one of those in the comics,
Hmm.
where at one point she even like kind of took on this little dress like Lobo thing, where she had the glasses and the spikes on the that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, they get along, and there's some history there.
Hmm.
But like there were some character moments that from like her home planet where uh I feel like they took some of her agency away. where she chose, because they took some of the depth of her trauma away, and some of her agency, where in the face of trauma,
Mhm.
she really stepped up. Like in the on her planet, um, when they were drifting, got close to a yellow sun, and the ground itself started turning kryptonite, which they changed,
Yeah.
where it was like somehow deep underneath or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and then her mom died, and everybody was dying, and they figured out how to do it, and it was just like them trying to overcome it, and they covered the whole ground with like steel or something,
Lead.
with lead.
With
Yeah,
yeah, with big
yeah,
lead plates, and like so people had to be out there all day long hammering those plates into the ground,
yeah.
and
And people were
people were dropping
dropping.
around her.
Yeah, and she stood out there the longest, because it was like she's fighting for the life of her mom,
Yeah.
basically. And she is out there way longer than everybody else, and
It shows
it
that she was
deepens her
yeah,
character.
she
Yeah,
was tough before she could fly and breathe in space and like and shoot
exactly,
lasers from her eyes. And it was yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that did mean a lot to me too when I read that, and I thought it's just like what up, yeah, it's just so like oh like
yeah,
you really yeah.
yeah. That's one of my favorite moments in the comic.
I think they were worried that they couldn't keep people's attention for more than like an hour and a half. But I was like, I think they could have like if they'd really leaned into more of some of those elements, I would have gladly watched a 2 hour Supergirl movie.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if that was what
Yeah.
it takes.
And I think that you make a good point with it, the length of it. I feel like they were kind of scared to make it an epic,
Yeah.
and that's why they made it only 3 days or whatever, which kind of makes sense when you're doing a movie and all that kind of stuff.
When they got Man
Um,
of Tomorrow coming, you know, next
yeah,
around the bend, they don't want to make it. They don't want to make this movie bigger than that one. I guess they don't want to have the
yeah, yeah. It's like they don't want to overshadow Superman, because I mean, they gave him some agency where in the first movie, where he did have to choose to be good despite what his purpose was,
Mhm.
kind of thing, which was a controversial choice, but it did kind of deepen his agency and his character and his resolve. But then Supergirl followed up, and I feel like everybody who read the comic and knew what was coming was ready for that. It was like, oh, don't sleep on Supergirl. Like, she is legit. Like, she is a badass. And then we saw the movie, and they just kind of watered it down, you know.
yeah.
Um, and even the moments between her and Ruthie, where she's on the planet with the green sun, and Ruthie has to fight off monsters in order to keep her alive.
I was a little sad about that because they were
Yeah.
supposed to that planet, the Kryptonite Sun planet where she's stuck on. She's sick for like 12 hours, just laying there. There's
Mhm.
supposed to be like big dinosaurs running around, and I was
Yeah.
kind of like, we were sort of like, oh, are the dinosaurs coming? It's like there weren't any though. She was just
Yeah.
out there by herself, and that
And
was kind of like, oh,
according to Anna DeGuerra, the writer, that was one of the things that she did not want to cut but had to.
yeah.
So I get it. I get it. Like, I mean, you have to do that. That's part of, but I feel like I would have fought for that, because it's such a great character moment,
It would have
and
made
it
that more
builds the
intense, you
bond.
know,
Yeah,
because
the
yeah, we're
bond.
like, oh no, she's gonna get eaten, like you know,
Yeah, and just the bond between them two. So at the end, when she asks Ruthie to go against her grain, that she's been this path that she's been on so hard and heavy, when she asks for that, it it's believable.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they've got such a bond.
right.
Uh, Not just like 3 days. Oh, hey, you shouldn't do that. See the S? You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's another thing with so apparently Craig Gillespie didn't read the comic. Anna
Gotcha.
Guerra admitted that she misunderstood the ending,
Gotcha.
because and to be fair, a lot of people did,
Yeah.
thinking that Ruthie killed Krim at the very end.
But you can see him in that last panel. He like you see him lean back up and he's just kind of like rubbing because she didn't kill him. She hit him across the
Yeah,
face and then walked away. That
yeah.
was what like he didn't die because like he's sitting up in that last you can
Oh,
see him.
okay.
He's like oh like and
Okay.
that's kind of what I thought for a second too because I was like I wonder if she did but I looked super close because I think I was just reading it on my phone back then. I've got an iPad now so I can see the comics way bigger. But yeah, in that last panel he's there kind of like he's like,
Yeah.
"Ow, that hurt!" Like,
Mhm.
because she's like, "Yeah, screw you, man."
Yeah, and that's what Tom King said in an interview. Somebody asked him, and he was like, "No, it was never meant to be ambiguous."
Right,
But like, why would she imprison him? Like, she's still angry with him. That's why she smacked him.
right.
But I mean, to be fair, 300 years in the quantum, or not the quantum realm,
The Phantom
the
Zone.
Phantom Zone is is a little extreme.
Yeah.
uh, so I mean, but I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's the compromise that Supergirl had to make because they live so much longer, Krim lives longer, Ruthie lives longer. It's like 300 years later,
Yeah.
and they release him, and her and Ruthie are still friends. And then there's also some unreliable narrator stuff that they play with because Ruthie's telling the story,
Right.
and Ruthie likes to talk. Um, you know, like originally in comic, she said that Supergirl killed him,
Mhm.
and that's why he disappeared or whatever.
Mhm.
But not really. So I guess maybe in the movie they're playing with, you know, uh because shoot, I just lost his name. The main man,
Lobo.
Lobo, was for whatever reason came back and was the only one to see that happen.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Him sitting up on that hill watching, and then being like, "Hey, that's my girl." You know, like that's I don't know. He kind of had that kind of weird, like it's like I've been a bad influence, and I'm happy. Like I don't know. He just kind
Yeah,
of has that kind of vibe.
yeah. And yeah, and the back and forth where Ruthie was going to do it, couldn't bring herself to do it, but then had to stop Kara from killing him because he had just killed Comet. So I mean, maybe Lobo couldn't have filled that role, but something, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? It might have been a good place to let Crypto go
and I have
because they changed that whole they changed
well,
that whole thing. Yeah, I mean,
and
yeah,
look, I'm
they
not one of those.
yeah,
Look,
don't fridge him.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not one of those guys because I know there's that website like where people can go and see like you type in does the dog die in this movie like it's that thing, and I know there are people out there and there's people who roll their eyes at those people. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle because yeah, I don't like watching a dog die for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think when it comes to that one, I think maybe you need to keep him around. I don't know. He hasn't annoyed
Yeah,
me completely yet. Like he has some people, but
yeah,
if it serves the point of a story, then like in a more adult film or something like that, then yeah, by
yeah,
all means, it's like I'm not gonna be those people who are like, oh, they killed the dog. This movie stinks. Like I'm not one of those people, but like,
yeah. There should have been somebody that had Supergirl kind of going off the edge there,
yeah,
and Ruthie pull her back and just show that push and pull. Well, may I don't know, maybe not because one of the another one of the big arguments I had is when she's on the Green Planet or the Green Sun Planet,
mhm,
and she has the flashback where Clark shows her the S, and this is, you know, it's so colorful because people know we're good.
yeah,
And she's having like the flashback where Ruthie and her mom have just said, you don't have to be nice, but be good.
mhm,
Um, and so she puts on the S and goes to fight, but then immediately turns around and kills Krim.
right,
So it's kind of like you just undermined that whole sequence, you know.
true.
Uh,
That being the good that she did though was still preventing Ruthie from having to do it, like basically taking that away from her for being able to
yeah.
like, yeah, which I guess that's kind of, and there's a part of me
Well,
too.
you could say that, but she says like this is for Crypto, and she kills him because of Crypto, not
What
for Ruthie.
Well, no, she stabbed him once in the gut for crypto, and then
Oh,
she slit his throat for the little girl and her family that she watched him kill in that back alley on that
okay,
one on the Blade
okay,
Runner planet.
okay.
So there is that too, which was fresh in her mind because it only happened like a few days ago. Because this whole movie happens
Yeah.
in like 3 days.
So that girl kind of see
That girl was a
that little girl could have served the point of Comet
yeah,
where she was like ready to go over the edge and pull back or whatever. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is a big overarching story,
hmm
and this is just a little piece of it. So there could be some little reason they had to do that, just kind of set up something between her and Clark.
yeah,
Because now she's wearing the symbol of the killer of Krim, and he's like, "What? Excuse me?"
yeah. Because it seems like they're gonna go back into space in this next movie, so I assume they're gonna run into some people being like, "She was the one who killed Krem,"
Yeah,
yeah, and then Clark's gonna be like, "What? What did you do?" Like,
yeah, yeah.
excuse me?
Yeah, so that I mean that could set up some headbutting between them, and you know have to think big picture. Just like with Superman, he was young in his career, and there were some things that you know, well, that just didn't feel right or whatever. It's the beginning, it's the first step. So don't judge the whole journey by the first step.
I haven't seen a whole lot of people arguing this point. It's just something that kind of has been going in my mind the last few weeks. Well, I have because, like, yeah, there's a part of me that kind of wanted to stick to the comics, and definitely there was a part of me that went like, "Ooh," like when she did, deliver the killing blow, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'm not sure quite how I feel about that in the moment." But I think about you know, the original comic and this movie's like major influence, which is True Grit. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
like very very close to True Grit.
Mhm.
And in that, you know, and in that one, John Wayne or Jeff Bridges, whichever you choose, you know, they killed the guy at the end. You know,
Hmm.
spoiler alert there. I mean,
Okay.
sorry, but whoops. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of like you have that moment where it's just like, okay, well, it's
Yeah.
you
They
cheer
could
for
have.
John Wayne when he does it, but it's like, you know, but it rubs you the wrong way when a girl does it,
Okay.
you know.
So
So there's that moment, there's
all
that
right.
argument.
So that is another that is another conversation that I wanted to have.
Hmm.
So there's a difference between, because I heard some people saying, well, why does she have to be this? She can be anybody. You're trying to put the girl in the box.
Hmm.
Okay. No, because we have girl anti-heroes
Yes,
that are very popular. Harley Quinn. We've got several
Catwoman. Yeah.
Catwoman who do that thing. Supergirl,
Hmm.
that is their whole brand,
Right.
is kindness. They fulfill that end of the spectrum. That is who they are.
Right.
That's like, don't try to make Superman Batman. The whole Snyderverse thing. Some people loved it. It was fun in the moment, but that's not who, you know. So many people were pissed when he killed um
When he killed Zod.
Zod. Thank you. I don't
Yes.
want to say Grodd. Yeah, when he killed Zod, because that Superman would never do that. He
Mhm.
doesn't believe in that. Um, so those my dog is
Despite the
whining
fact
up
that
there.
Zod was this close to vaporizing like another small family
Exactly.
once
So
again,
it's
so
like,
there was
yeah,
that.
I mean, and it's always fun when you're putting a story together. It's like, what would this person do in this situation? But that is the thing about Superman, is that he would find another way. He would figure it out. He would not cross that line.
Right.
It's like he's got. It's like, you know, Batman has the no kill rule. Superman is like, here's Batman's level. Superman is here. Like, he is so far above that 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 is not even like an option in his
Right.
mind.
Yeah.
Batman might be like, okay, cool, you know, we'll do it this one time.
I think it's the dilemma that comes with people trying to like reach a wide audience with the movies, whereas like when they do like the animated movies that are kind of like closer to adaptations of the comics, people kind of like say like, well, the comics live in this world that really doesn't exist no matter what, and it's just that it's so wooey woo that you know you really can't differentiate, like, because it's just like that's not how our world is at all, so we can't relate to that. When you
And
think, I think about like one of my favorites is the Superman versus the Elite. That's they did an animated movie of that, and it's like there's one in there where it's just like for a while you okay, it's, you know, spoiler for Superman the Elite. If you haven't seen it, check it out because it's really cool. But like, you know, spoiler for that, he he gets pushed to the edge by this group of superpowered guys who are like
Mhm.
trying to be like the authority of, like, you know, the planet. They're trying to be like, we're gonna make the rules now,
uh,
you know, and we're gonna rule, and there's gonna be peace because like we'll kill anyone who doesn't agree with us. And so Superman has to kind of teach him, and you think for a little bit he goes nuts towards the end, and you think like, oh no, he's killed all of them, but then you find out no, he actually didn't kill any of them, and he just sort of you know, he figured out a way to depower them or like nerf them, I guess, essentially.
yeah.
And just but for a split second there, you think he's gone nuts, and you're just like, oh
Mhm.
no, because you get that little taste of like, here's what happens when you push Superman to the edge.
Exactly.
And it's like that's a fun thing to play with, and I kind of wish they'd kind of like had more of that, you know,
Yeah,
that play
and
with.
that's what it feels like, lazy writing, when you take a character and you choose this character because of what they stand for, and then you play with their you know, with their morality and their ethics and all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
but they still have to choose to be that character. Otherwise, you have made them into something else.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that they don't grow. You don't change the essence of who they are. And that is, I feel like that's kind of like what they did here. Because you know, you've got people saying, well, how dare you try to tell a woman, especially as a white, I get it, I'm a white dude talking about Supergirl, but how dare you tell a woman who she can and can't be?
Right.
It's fiction, for one. Okay, it's fake. Okay,
True.
for two, you are coming very close to being that dude who steps in and says, sit down, I got this. Okay,
Right.
You-
Yeah.
like, there are a swath of different women characters. Like, make use one of them,
Right.
or have that person come in to challenge Like, that's how you make it interesting. You don't take the lazy way out when you're writing and say, well, I've painted myself in a corner. I guess they just have to kill him now, or do something that is against their character.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now if you want to explore that, and maybe that's what they're doing in the greater story, we'll just get there. We'll find out. But like, yeah, it's there are other options. Don't try to make that has that has been my argument from day one. If you want a gritty Superman, fine, but if you want Batman, just fucking get Batman. You know what I mean?
True.
Don't make Superman Batman, because then what do you do with Batman?
Yeah, there's nothing left for him to do.
Exactly. Then yeah, and you're just it's like when you whether it be with music or storytelling, you start here. You don't start at the ceiling, because there's nowhere to go. You have to build an ebb and flow and an in and out to give yourself places to go for this character. And if you start, well, Superman is now on the edge and blah, 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 it's like, bruh, like, where is the goodness? Where is the kindness? Where is the charm of Superman? Where is the farm boy? You know what I mean? It's like, yes, these characters can have moments and things that they go through that reinforces who they are. But if you're going different from who they are, you're stepping into Elseworlds territory.
Yeah, true.
Because I mean, yeah, it's just like, absolute Batman or absolute Superman. It's like, it's a different version entirely. They don't even have the same upbringing.
Right.
But they're not going to become the main version. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though we're going to have fun with it and enjoy it, and it's going to be great.
I mean, it's always kind of how I take in like any sort of show or movie that's like, even if it's like based on a specific comic or something like that, they usually end up doing their own thing. And I kind of look at that as just kind of like, I look at the movie or the show as just another comic book created by, just as I look at like multiple comic books with different creators, as so many people have done Batman over the years, Grant Morrison, Scott Snyder, Jim Lee, so it's just like, and everyone kind of does them a little different.
Yeah, they get their own
Everyone's
flavor.
got their own style.
Yeah. And I mean, to a certain point, you have to introduce new things, and otherwise you're not selling books.
Yeah.
But if you look at the large, no matter what comic you look at, if you look at a character who's been around that long, there's an essence that they always come back to, and that's, they'll take a character and they'll paint them into a corner until the audience is sick of it, and then like, okay, we got to reboot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they've taken it too far.
I say if they're looking for a new idea for like what could be a good series coming up soon, if like if they need another series, and for HBO in the next few years, the current run of Poison Ivy has kind of got an interesting. I've been reading some of that, and it's at least the first story, the first arc in her, or this comic run is really interesting, and because she's kind of like, I think first you have to establish Swamp Thing, because like she and Swamp Thing are kind of like in simpatico, I guess at this point. They're kind of like they both have touched the green, like so, and in the case of her, she had it and she lost it. So, and now she's back kind of like in her, because there was a moment where she was kind of like more of almost a good guy in a way, but now that she's kind of lost it again, she's kind of back to like in her sort of eco-terrorist
right,
kind of
which depending on who you talk to, that's
right,
a good or bad guy.
Yeah, they touched on that in the Harley Quinn show, where she's just like, once again, it's like, I'm trying to protect the environment. Why does that make me? And somehow I'm the bad guy. I don't. She doesn't understand, and I think that makes her a cool character for that.
Exactly, and that's like character 101 is your villain and your hero. They want the same thing.
Yes.
They are the same person that made different choices. It's the method. Right. It's how they go about it that makes them a hero or villain.
And they gotta have that moment where the bad guy's like, "We're not so different, you and I."
Exactly. Yeah. And your villain doesn't understand why this isn't okay.
Yeah.
And they implode basically.
Yeah.
It's like the hero rises to the occasion. The villain refuses, and that is the difference. That's what makes a hero a villain. It's like, if you want to make your hero a villain, write a new comic. I don't know. explore, that's fine. Exploration is great.
Yeah.
Character exploration is great. But when you make a like killing a person is something you don't come back from.
Right.
It's something you can't take back. So,
Definitely.
you know what I mean? And I get that Superman and the whole super is become, even though it wasn't made this way, it's become this whole Christ-like figure. And maybe they're trying to pull from that where it's like, oh, she took on her. It's like, I feel like it's just reading into it just a little bit too much.
At the same time, we've got Hawk Girl, who in the first movie also just
Right.
straight up murdered a guy. And we're
Right.
just like, oh, she's fine. That's
Yeah.
what she does.
Yeah, it's consistent with her character.
It's all right. It's like she's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
And
Hawk Girl's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And the Hawk Girl isn't like one of those people. Well, I mean, maybe if you're like really into comics, but it is one of those characters that doesn't have like a definitive version kind of thing.
True. So
Yeah. And Supergirl, kind of, just the fact that she wears the S, there is a definitive version.
yeah,
There's a definitive element, I should say. If she wants to pull the whole Cap goes nomad thing and just not wear the S, that would be an interesting story. Like that's kind of where she started, but then she decided to wear the S and decided to kill anyways. So it's like,
yeah, that's a good point. There's sort of that sort of like, it's like, yeah, they just built it up as that, and then she goes and, which I realize, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was at that point though too, because it's just like, yeah, after I saw Krem kill, that little girl and her family in the alley too, I was just kind of like, you know what? I really don't care what happens to this guy in my own opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that
I've
was
watched a little too much Punisher, I guess.
That was a great, interesting place for them to go with that, with like kind of turning that whole story into a trafficking story.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So that was good. That was great. There were some really great spots. It had a lot of potential, which is why it wasn't a bad movie.
I love the whole scene on the bus. I thought that was really fun with her pulling the spacesuit on and she like getting out and trying to get her powers, and then just kind of like,
instead of fighting a space dragon.
Yeah, there was that. No space dragon either.
Yeah, but like you say, there's certain things in the comics that might just be a little too far. But
we had a giant monster in the Superman movie, so I guess they thought like, oh, we can't have her fighting too many big monsters either, otherwise it's just gonna be. It's like, well, that's kind of the super thing though. They always just like have to fight a monster at some point. It's just it's fun.
And maybe they were trying to not hit that ceiling too quickly and kind of like. So I mean, we don't know what happened behind the scenes and the things that they had to compromise on and why and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, we sit here armchair quarterbacking something that they spent years to make.
I'm just gonna have faith that they're gonna come back around to some of these elements, bring it into Man of Tomorrow, and hopefully, maybe they'll address it and it'll make for some good drama there at least. If not, I don't know. Hopefully, maybe a learning experience, or I don't know what, or who knows? She might just sort of be like, you know what? I'm tired of all this goody goody. Who knows? We might just have like have Supergirl be like, you know what, Brainiac seems kind of cool. I'm gonna go. No, maybe not, but
yeah, I mean, maybe that is the whole point that they're coming to, because right now we don't know that Brainiac is part of the DCU as far as the Supergirl backstory, like in My Adventures with Superman kind of thing.
Right. Or if he was an AI from Krypton. There was that kind of that storytelling of it, and there's sometimes where he's just a guy who collects things that just has been going through the planet, going from planet
trying
to planet
to be
for years.
Prime or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't know if there's a history there, but that could be what they're building toward. Is that moment with her and Clark where she is ready or he is ready to straight up do it, and they have to pull back because they realize that this is not what heroes do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's amazing so many people that are against capital punishment are cheering this on.
Yeah.
But anywho, there's so much depth and nuance to discuss there. But ultimately, I feel like it's not a bad movie. It's enjoyable. It's fun. So much untapped potential left on the table. But I enjoyed it overall.
Had a fun time too. Everybody in my group had a good time.
Yeah, so I think everybody should see it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just for the heck of it, just because it's a good time. Probably the only reason I feel that way is because I read the comic.
Yes.
To be fair,
And so
and it's an adaptation. It's not gonna be the comic.
yeah. I take those people, the people who are disappointed because they wanted more of the comic in the movie. I take their, I take their, when they give it like in the middling to like lower
Hold on a
reviews,
second.
I at least take them to heart. Poor, poor Ghost. It's the people who straight up didn't watch it though, and then are being like, "Go woke, go broke," like the ones who are screaming that stuff. It's like, okay, well, we're not having a good conversation, you see, because I feel like even a mediocre movie to a bad movie, at least we can still have a good talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I love about movies is like getting together with other movie lovers and talking about it, like what we liked, what we didn't. It just
Mhm.
it helps us all kind of grow and kind of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those we have to have those discussions.
yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, that's how we explore these elements. That goes back to my whole argument from the beginning with my hot take with the arts.
Yeah.
Is this is how we we play out these questions that we have, and which way it might go in life, and so we don't do the bad thing in real life. We yeah, we play it out in these fictional stories,
Yeah.
and just see where it'll go and have fun with it.
Very true, very
Hmm.
true.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else?
I don't know. I think we covered every angle.
Yeah, we went probably about an
We
hour
did
and
it
a half.
all. We did it all. No one ever gets to talk about Supergirl ever again because we talked about all of it.
I know we're kind of late to the party, but I feel like with it coming out so like next week or whatever, this just it's going to be fresh again.
Yeah.
So, anyways, anything you want to add or take away or?
I think I'm good.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget that we are live every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the YouTubes. So please like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so that you know when we drop a new video and when we finally go live. Thank you guys so much for your support. My name is Dylan.
My name is Andrew.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Later.